Welcome, everybody. First, before I start, let me tell you guys this is not for people to take as serious advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Remember that? I'm going to be talking about certain dreams that has come to me and visions that have come to me over the last few years. Things that I've been writing about. Now, I'm here at sunrise, basically. 25 degrees outside. The crescent moon here with the Madonna. And yeah, I've been guilty of using labels in the past. I hate labels. I hate using the word shaman. I hate using even the word psychic and healer and medicine man. All those, we're humans. We're humans, and we're physical bodies, but we're energetic bodies as well. We're energetic creatures. And when your energy can phase change, right? Can be transformed. And fortunately and unfortunately, I've had a certain life where I've had periods of time where I was just with myself, my physical body, and my mind. Especially when I was younger. And I somehow explored certain aspects and had certain connections through my mind and my body that some people, I just guess, don't make. And my creativity is attached to that. My free will, our free will is attached to that. That's the frequency, the harmonic frequency of our energy that's connected to the divine, to source. And right now I have an important message. I don't want to use those labels anymore too much, but unfortunately you have to describe things somehow. I'm a human, I'm creative, but I also have a connection, just like all of us. Most people aren't listening anymore. And guys, all you got to do is look up, if you're a subscriber or not of my YouTube and you're watching this right now, on September 11th, 2018. Now, most people, when they say they have a prophecy come to them or a prediction or some sort of vision, most likely it never even comes into fruition in some way. On September 11th, 2018, I posted a video on YouTube right here. You can look it up. It's called Green Comet of the Apocalypse, Plagues, and Critica. Now, this is also just for entertainment only. Please nobody ever take this as advice to go do something. You know, that's like a disclaimer here for YouTube, right? This is just visions and dreams that came to me. You could take it or leave it. But in September 11th, 2018, I posted that video. Because prior to that, the few weeks prior to that, I was having dreams. Even when I was at work at the time, I was, if I would, like if my mind would wander for a second where I wasn't thinking about things, like if I wasn't thinking about bills or my daughter that was just born or all the stuff that was going on at the time, like sometimes you just blank out for a moment, your mind wanders and you're not thinking about anything, and all of a sudden something comes to you, boom. It was coming to me at work like that too. And I was having nightmares. It was like waking me up out of dreams, and I was retaining, it would like, that's why they call those like psychic dreams, those even, where like the dream literally wakes you up. It's so intense, and you sort of retain a few moments right before you woke up, and sometimes it could sit with you, right? So I was having that in successive nights even. And even while I'm awake. So what was coming to me was I was seeing people sick all over the planet on respirators, dying, and I saw a green comet then coming in the sky. Now at the time I was like, damn, am I gonna die? Is my family gonna get sick? Like, what's going on? Because there wasn't a health crisis on the planet at that time. In the way it is now, at least, right? And so I was like internalizing it a little bit. And then I started, like, when it was coming to me more, I saw this green comet passing in the side, people getting sick all over, and like a literal plague, like everybody walking around with masks and all of that. Like, it was like the world changed. There was like a sickness, and I saw a green comet in the sky. And I was associating it at the time with that green comet. And also, the word Kratika came to me, which is the Pleiades, the ancient name for the Pleiades. Right? So I literally did a video in September 2018 that says, I really have a strong feeling that there's a new sickness coming to the planet, and then some sort of green comet is coming, and my research and my work started being consistently about comets and meteors and all this stuff. I started getting into everything that what was coming to me, right? So that was posted in September 2018. Now the next year, the whole health crisis starts on our planet, literally. Now you could say, hey, you just got lucky because there's always a health crisis. There's always a new sickness that comes. Okay, I could give you that. But then how do you explain the green comet that I also mentioned in this video? Now, we didn't find out about this green comet until 2022. It's actually passing. I remote viewed this. People could take the information or not. Right now, that comet is interfacing with our sun. Not our sun, but the sun in this solar system. It's interfacing with it right now. And in February, this green comet is going to be closest to Earth. Wow, they're trying to stop this broadcast already. So right now, all the auroras that's coming in, literally, is the solar wind from the sun blowing those cometary codes into our planet. That's what's happening right now, where you're seeing fireballs and meteors all over right now, all over the planet. We're being seeded. We're at the cusp of a huge change. And I've been talking about this. I go deeper into it on my Patreon because there's limits of what I can say here on YouTube. We are energetic beings. We can change the phase of reality. Believe me, coincidences and things like that don't happen by accident either. There's higher work to what's happening. And right now, the only way you can get in touch and be able to phase change our reality in any way is connecting with the higher frequencies. And on our planet right now, most things are designed to keep us from connecting to that, because they know. Believe me, our magnetosphere, the solar wind, that all is a stargate. All of that is high technology of the universe. Why do you think the space station is literally right there on one end of our magnetosphere, looking at it? Even though it's invisible, translucent vortex of a plasmic torus field, there's other invisible to our spectrum space stations from other forms of life all around our planet. Anybody that does remote viewing should be able to see that. And I do feel in 2025 as well, you could take it or leave it. You could see, I basically told you guys about the health crisis that was coming in 2018. Less than a year later, it was already starting. And the green comet that we didn't find out about until 2022 is here now. Look it up. I mentioned this in 2018. This green comet only comes around, now we've discovered, only every 50,000 years. It's on a mathematical orbit. This is technology like I've been describing. It's the technology of God, of the universe. This is how worlds are either destroyed or seeded and evolved. They're used for times of war and times of change. It's a weapon and a technology of the universe. Last time this green comet was here was when the Neanderthals were starting to expand across the planet. It was dropping off codes of change. And believe me, the sun is communicating with all the forms of light it touches. The ancient Egyptians did not build these pyramids and all these things and then have primitive mortuary rituals that they're using as hieroglyphs. This is advanced technology where they're talking about the solar wind. They're talking about supernova explosions. They're talking about genetic engineering. All of this. And we know of at least 5 other extinctions that's happened on the planet, right? Well, and everybody thinks the ancient Egyptians, like Akhenaten, who was Amenhotep IV, or even when he changed his name to Akhenaten or Khu-en-Aten, right? That he was worshipping the solar disk itself. That's not true. The Aten is not the actual solar disk that they were worshipping. It was the light that was emanating off of that disk that they were. That's the Aten. It's the actual light that's coming from the sun. And the Ankh is the coronal mass ejection loop. And from what I've been seeing is that in 2025, the number 25 has been coming to me for over 20 years now, associated with an Ankh. And I never was interpreting correctly. Our egos get in the way with our own interpretations of visions and things that come to us, I think, in dreams as well. The more humbled you get in life, I think, the more you start to see clear. And now I'm understanding what I've been sketching for many, many years. I can go back to 2001 and 2002, where I was sketching an Ankh with a Taurus and a number 25. I do think that these coronal mass ejection loops, when they burst and there's a flare, most likely in 2025 there will be one that knocks out our grid. And then this is when really things will get intense. Right here at sunrise over the Hudson River. This is an intense energy, this place over here, right where you see, right here. That's what's also called High Tor or High Thor mountain, where it's like a throne of Thor, High Thor or High Tor. Sometimes they were called Indian's chair as well, right there. And then right down here, right almost in the backyard of where I live, is where the Battle of Stony Point took place. One of the most brutal hand-to-hand fightings that took place in 1779, when we actually took it back from the British. This point was taken, because right down that way is New York City. About 29 miles right there is Manhattan down this way. This is the Haverstraw Bay right here, and High Tor Mountain, and then on that side is Westchester County. And right when you come down here, you're coming to where, if you go further, that's where the nuclear point, Indian Point power plant is, further down the river. But that's where the Battle of Stony Point took place, which was one of the last battles of the war back then, whatever it was, right? The Revolutionary War, whatever it is. Like when we actually took back, the British had that point, that area. There's a lighthouse there, and then the whole story with Benedict Arnold and Major Andre happened right here. And then Major Andre was hung upstream in Nyack, up there a little ways, about 10 minutes. Very, very interesting, where that Battle of Stony Point took place. I've had tall soldiers that seemed almost 7 foot chase me out of the woods several times when I was younger. I even got one of them on camera, a photograph of one. Had a big hat on and a big musket type thing on his back. I posted it on my Patreon in like 2018. Really incredible. This is a high energy area in many, many ways. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. Yeah, we took back from the British right at that spot at midnight. The Battle of Stony Point happened. It was at midnight. We literally like crawled through the marshlands. You see, like there's like a cliff down ways, and it was on the cliff where the lighthouse is. They crawled through the marshlands and took over. It was like a hand-to-hand battle, a lot of it. Axes and stuff. And George Washington was all in this area back then. And then they hired this dude that was called Mad Anthony Wayne to lead the freaking attack on the British so we can take back that area. And then after that, like, they took it back that night. And then, like, they quickly hurried out of there because they knew that there was going to be a retaliation. And a brutal retaliation. So they like vacated the spot. So when the British showed up to retaliate a little while later, they were gone. And then there was like one more fight, I think, in Yorktown, which is across the river. And that was the last fight of the war. That's when we officially like took it all back. And look what that happened. I was born 200 years after that, because that happened in like 1778, 1779. Right? I'm born 1978. It's pretty crazy in the 200 years. Morning, Gary. Morning, Crystal. Jorn, how's it doing? Jorn Volheim. Is it Bjorn? Bjorn or Jorn? It's a silent B, right? Well, it is freezing. It's 25 degrees right now. And that's what I've been trying to tell you. The universe is speaking to us. That's why, like, we've been getting called to use crystals and metals and things like that. You want to know why? It's because crystals are originally here to be embedded within the planet as a technology of the planet. Not only do they record all the friggin' auroras and codes that are coming down from the solar wind and the sun and comets and meteors, they record that data that comes down, life codes, right? They're also here to keep the harmonic balance and ascension and evolution of nature. They're literally here for vibration and sound and frequency for nature and the environment. Each crystal color and form and shape has a specific design for the energy and evolution of nature and the planet. But because of our activity, humankind's activity, we've been preventing crystals from being able to do their job. So now we're being called to work with them to help them do their job. This is no joke. This is not a sales pitch. This is reality. That's why I work hard to get the most ethically sourced, most rare, highest quality, most powerful crystals from the most rare places in the world. Because those areas Many areas need to, you could see the friggin' animals on the planet are starting to walk in circles in specific coordinates because the harmonic frequency is changing on the planet, and we're being called to work with certain earth energy coordinates, certain condensed energy coordinates, and things like that. The animals are literally being called to do it. This is what ley lines, crop circles do as well. It's an inner earth technology of plasma. Plasma balls of light create those crop circles coming from within our own bioenergetic system of the planet. They're not aliens. I've been remote viewing this stuff for years, and I've been suppressed. You got dumbasses that have like 700,000 subscribers talking about nonsense on YouTube. You want to go right to patreon.com/themysticalspiral, and we got some information for you guys right there. It's very important right now what's in your minds, what's in your souls, and what you're doing with your life. We're the only ones that's going to be able to change the planet, because we're the ones that have been messing it up. It's time to phase change that energy. It just like I said, even with like cancers and tumors, it all that negative energy, it takes a lot of energy to create that. That can be transformed as well. Don't take any of this as medical advice or anything like that. This is just for entertainment. Remember that. But it's very important information as well. The thoughts of all of us are very important. But thoughts is also our connection to source. You just got to understand, sometimes you're being invaded by not even your own thoughts. We have so much embedded within our biofield. So much that people are not even understanding their own thoughts anymore. They're being hacked. Sunrise. Yep, the green comet. It's here right now, and in my opinion right now, it is communicating with our sun. It's interfacing with our sun, and our sun is expelling all those light codes, the gases and all that stuff. That's not just random material and stuff coming out of there. Look, these deer, they're like one with us, just chilling. All these prehistoric rock walls right here. There's chambers in some of them over here. It's really intense. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Hey, oh, we're doing the neck dance, the two of us. We're doing the neck dance. Woo! Look at that baby stride. Hey. Yeah, the sky is pretty. And it's 25 degrees right now. And I'm talking about 2025. And this is not something I'm like bragging about, that I don't want to be. It's not something you want to be right about. But the sun goes through certain stages of ascension, certain stages of sacred consciousness, if you want to say. And you can scientifically say that, it becomes like it's from a red giant. Some stars go through like the red giant, a blue phase. It becomes a white dwarf, right? And supernovas, and eventually it becomes a black hole. That black hole is a vortex, I believe, to another universe completely. or possibly to other black hole coordinates, like a black hole portal net. And I've been talking about that for years, even with James Bartley in like 2015 when I went on his radio show, The Cosmic Switchboard, I think it was called. He's based out of Australia. Actually, right before I did that show in 2015 or whatever it was, I had an encounter with multiple reddish orbs of light in the sky that I got on camera. You guys, right here on YouTube. Reddish plasmic orbs, or whatever you want to call them. Reddish, bright red. They look like as bright as stars and like reddish orange. And it's not the first time I've seen them. I've got them on camera numerous times. I mean, they literally looked as bright as Venus, glowing like that, but they were moving around intelligently. They seemed to be almost like a life itself. And they were in formation at first over my neighbor's house, like in the backyard area, like 50 to 100 feet over the house. When I looked out the window, like 5 minutes before I was about to do this radio show. And by the time I got outside with my camera, there was just one of them. Like the other ones were moving off, and there was one of them left. And it came down, and it vibrated and changed shapes and colors, and I got that all on video. It pulsates. It was pulsating red and completely silent. Let me remind you, completely silent. And it was like hard to judge the size of it, but it was like the size of my, from the top of my car to the bottom of my car, like a big ball. Padre Pio right here. Look at that. It was intense. And I wasn't getting any like telepathic like connection to it at the time. But afterwards, I was having like blinking recollections of symbols and things like that coming to me. I was sketching them, and I didn't see another one until like 3 years later, actually. Right here over the Hudson River, but further down the river. I got it on camera. And then once I thought it was it, but it was Venus. It wasn't it. But those reddish orange orbs, they've been reported all over the planet. I mean, they're pretty common now. And in my opinion, we've had evidence of higher, if you want to say beings with higher knowledge, right, that know what's coming on our planet, of them preserving DNA for years. You guys remember, right? Anybody that's into the categories that I talk about, you guys remember for the last several decades, starting like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, cattle mutilation. You can't even call them cattle mutilations. Surgical precision, laser precision, removing blood and organs of species, from humans to cattle to all of that. Why do you think DNA and organs are being preserved for all life all over the planet? You know why. You know why. Things are about to change. Life is dying out all over. And we're the only thing multiplying rapidly. And look what we're doing to the planet. For what? So we all can live more comfortably? Is it really comfort? We're literally sitting and cooking in our own radiation. How is that comfort? Why? So we can have everything at the tip of our fingertips? So we don't have to have an inner connection anymore? Why would you need spiritual telepathy between people? Those words have even been demonized. I'm using that word as a label, sort of, but a connection between energetically, where you're literally reading someone's thoughts and over space and time. We have that within us. We don't need that now because we have instant messaging, text messages. That's replaced like a layer, a coat over our spiritual self. our spiritual layers. Another layer has been added and weaved itself into us, an artificial intelligence, to replace our spiritual connections. Sound and vibration is everything. You literally can communicate from one temple miles and miles away to another temple miles away. You can hit on a copper drum in one temple, and a drum will ring at another coordinate 100 miles away because of sound and vibration and a wireless connection of energetic coordinates. All that is possible. We had wireless without this electronics way before. Tibetan monks have been using wireless systems. This green comet is representing a huge change, and also the coming of a good shepherd. This is what I've been shown. We can be the good shepherds, all of us. Why would you want to be a sheep when you could be a shepherd? An army of sheep are real dangerous when they're following the orders of an incredible shepherd. Right? They're like zombies. Unfortunately, religion has made people come in boxes, and it's causing more problems than good on the planet. When religions cause war, there should be a look at that. As intelligent people, we're supposed to take a look at that. If religions are causing war on the planet, what the hell is wrong with what's going on here? Well, check this out. You guys want to see what I've been holding? Hydro quartz. I don't know if you guys can see the hydro bubble inside of there, but I'm actually going to be having 2 crystal shows today. I'm getting a new box in, and I'm doing an auction of some other items that you guys haven't seen yet that I have. This is some real cool hydro quartz, hydro bubbles in it, like thousands, maybe millions of years of ancient water trapped inside. Really cool. Let me see if I could show you guys. You guys can see the bubble moving around. Yeah, I got a few of these. If someone wants to buy one, let me know. I can even make a pendant out of one. What you guys really should get before I run out, these are straight from Tibet. I only have a limited amount. These are garden quartz, colorful garden quartz bracelets. And each one of those spheres costs like $10 at least. So it's really a deal, the bracelet, because these are very, very high quality garden quartz spheres on there. I only have one left available right now on the website that comes with a jewelry box, and I'm waiting to get more spheres in to make more. But those are really dope. And oh my god, I just made a kyanite necklace last night. That is incredible. You guys can see that up on the website. You guys, that one is really nice. And that's the last piece of kyanite I have that was charged at the dolmen. So I made a pendant out of it. Yeah, this hydro bubble. This is Himalayan quartz. Right here, it has like 6 bubbles on it actually. all together. It's a light smoky anhydro, they call it. Oh, you guys want to see it real quick before I go? Because I got to go get breakfast, and then we're going to do a live crystal show. But it's freezing, too. But the girls are waiting on me for food, too. I was supposed to bring breakfast back, but I came to do a little quick show. Let me show you guys some quick, cool stuff. When I was walking the other